Good afternoon to our party members, members of our candidates' families, members of the media, and to the people of Bermuda. It is my pleasure to be here this afternoon to present a group of capable and committed Progressive Labor Party candidates for July's general election. The Progressive Labor Party is a big tent party, and I feel that our slate of candidates reflects the same. They represent a wide variety of backgrounds, professions, and interests. I have complete faith that the candidates we have chosen will put all Bermudians first and work together to ensure the ideals of the Progressive Labor Party and the ideals of all of Bermuda are upheld. First, for constituency number 7, Hamilton South, I am delighted to present present PLP Deputy Chairman, Anthony Richardson. Anthony has more than 26 years' experience as a chartered accountant, holding such senior positions as Accountant General of Bermuda, Chairman of the Bermuda Hospitals Board, Chief Executive Officer of Bermuda Health Council, and Chief Financial Officer of Bermuda Land Development Company. Anthony's commitment to community service is most impressive. He currently serves as counselor for the Corporation of St. George and is chairman of the board of directors at his church. He has extensive experience on many government boards, and his commitment to community service is further exemplified by participation in the Bermuda Parents, Teachers, Students Association and the BFA Finance Committee, and also in YouthNet. He is a product of Bermuda's public education system, ESEM Primary, the formerly Public Work Academy, and the Bermuda College. He holds a Bachelor's of Business Administration from Acadia University and further advanced diplomas in insurance, finance, and management. With his professional and community experience, I am convinced that Anthony will make an excellent representative for Hamilton South. I now give you Mr. Anthony Richardson.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Leader. Good afternoon, everyone, and especially the voters from constituency number 7, Hamilton South. I am pleased to be the candidate for constituency number 7, Hamilton South, in the upcoming election on Tuesday, July 18, 2017. Based on our canvassing on the doorsteps, I know that some of your concerns relate to education, road safety, water supply, and employment. Addressing the elephant in the room about 2 Bermudas, one voter even coined a new phrase, 3 Bermudas. The overriding point being that there is a severe disconnect between the financial standing of Bermudians, and we are not, as a country, doing enough to reduce this disconnect. My goal is to be your voice in Parliament when decisions are made that impact you individually or Bermuda as a nation. However, I am a realist. This is perhaps the most important election of our time. Winning in number 7 will be a challenge, but I am convinced it is possible if everyone is part of the election process. Remember when nobody thought that Cleveland would win the Eastern Conference? I invite you to play an active role in the 2017 election. Don't be content to sit on the sidelines. We will be happy to have you join our hard-working campaign team led by the well-known Roddy Birchall. I reiterate the absolute necessity for you to be registered to vote. You and everyone you know. Don't wait until the last minute. Make sure you have done so before Friday. Once you are registered, it is critical for you to come out and vote on election day. You will know that we have started canvassing. For those who I have not yet met, here is a brief introduction. I was adopted into the Devils Hill area almost 20 years ago when I married my wife Holly and moved to Broken Hill Road. I now live close to the iconic Marsden Church and Harris's Bay Field. I enjoy giving back to the community and served on many government boards, as the leader said, and community and church organizations for the past 20 years or more. Most recently, I've been an active sponsor of junior tennis, which has encouraged a resurgence of tournaments especially for the under 12 category. I'm committed to working with the Progressive Labor Party team under party leader David Burt to win this election. But the work does not stop on July 18th. In fact, that is when the hard work will begin. I pledge to ensure that our education system can be one that is first class yet again. And I do believe it can. I pledge to ensure that we address the social ills that are plaguing our country. We can fix this, and we will. And I pledge that with my financial background, I will play a role in ensuring we govern with responsible and prudent fiscal management. Listen up. I have a vested interest in the success of Bermuda, as I have 2 young children whom I love dearly and whom I want to live a happy, healthy, and successful life in Bermuda if they so choose. I thank everyone for their assistance thus far and the positive responses on the doorstep. I look forward to meeting you all over the next month and look forward to July 18th and beyond. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Anthony. And as Anthony said, he's got 2 young kids in the public school system, and I have 2 young ones as well, probably just a little bit younger. Next, members of the media and Bermuda, I'd like to introduce the Progressive Labor Party candidate for constituency number 8, Ms. Roseanne Tucker. Ms. Roseanne Tucker will no doubt represent Smith South with dignity and respect. As a self-employed entrepreneur, Roseanne understands the true meaning of hard work. A family immersed in politics fostered Roseanne a lifelong interest and a desire to become involved in the political process and to contribute to the betterment of all Bermudians. Roseanne has been involved at the branch and executive levels of the Progressive Labor Party for many years and is a former Assistant Secretary of the Progressive Labor Party. She is also a former Second Vice President of the Bermuda Public Services Union. Roseanne also served on the steering committee for Habitat for Humanity, and her commitment to representing others and advocating for their needs knows no bounds. Roseanne attended the Barclay Institute, Bermuda College, the George Meany Labor College, and the Project Management Institute. She has been a project manager in HSBC's corporate real estate department, and with her skills and determination, I am proud to present her as the Progressive Labor Party candidate for constituency number 8, Ms. Roseanne Tucker.
Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the party leader, David Burt, and the PLP candidates and campaign committees for this chance to represent the community of Constituency 8, Smith South. Those of you who know me know that my roots are in the West, but there is no part of this island I could or would not represent. As an island ambassador, I am the first to point out that this island is only but so long. Nowhere is that far, and surely we must all be in each other's backyard. I consider every resident on this island my neighbor, and hence I do not have any difficulty understanding or representing the interests of the Smith South electorate. I am a British Overseas Territory dependent citizen, born in Bermuda, the mother of 1 son, originally raised in Somerset, and for the last 18 years have resided in St. David's. In the 80s, I was one of the founding members of People for Positive Change, and we were having ESP, economic, social, and political change. And we were focusing on trying to change the shortcomings of the UBP. I also served as secretary to the National Bowling Association and the Bermuda Cricket Board of Control. In the 90s, in combination with the Coalition for Affordable Housing, I lobbied as the National Tenants and Future Homeowners Association, bringing awareness to the housing crisis and breaking down the barriers to get access to the houses on South Side. In 1999, as our party leader stated, I did act as the vice president of the Public Service Association. We celebrated International Women's Day, and the quote that showed up on my Facebook feed by Malala Yousafzai was very timely and spoke directly to the reason I want to serve. Do not wait for someone else to come and speak for you. It's you who can change the world. I know I cannot affect change if I am not in the places where the party political discussions of change and making Bermuda better are taking place. And it is no coincidence that I find myself around the same age that my mom was when she confirmed her commitment to political leadership. As a candidate for Sands North, her face and that of my nephew adorned the 1968 PLP election campaign. I feel that she and my African ancestors are propelling me forward to inject truth, justice, and harmony in our political process. It is quite clear to me that key challenges island-wide are in the area of employment, education, transportation, and healthcare costs. There has been no increase in jobs for Bermudians. There is a serious deficit in our historical and liberal education. Our transportation system has failing equipment, infrastructure, and scheduling deficits. And there is a pressing need to reduce the cost of nutrition and further reduce the cost of healthcare in this island. A quote contributed to Thomas Jefferson in 1809 said, "The care of human life and happiness and not their destruction is the only legitimate object of good government. No society can surely be flourishing and happy if the far greater part of its members are poor and miserable." Many in my network of friends are poor, and I'll say unhappy, because we do live in Bermuda. But they live in constant fear of not being able to provide for themselves, let alone a family. I agree with our leader, David Byrd. There are two Bermudas, and Bermudians must come first in opportunity, jobs, and success in our own country. Voters of Constituency 8, I seek your assistance in becoming an instrument of change. The OBA said they had solutions to these problems. They said they had bold, new, fresh ideas as well as the experience to get it done. They said the conditions of our country demand that we be serious about solutions. Well, if they have delivered in your Bermuda, then fine. But if they haven't, then now would be the time to break the pattern of voting for broken political promises and vote to build a better Bermuda, the PLP way, proud, prosperous, and free to live in peace in one Bermuda. I thank you for listening, and I ask the residents of Smith South for their election support on election day, because I would like to be their representative for the future.
Members of the media, party members, family, friends, and people of Bermuda watching live. Last but certainly not least, I am honored to declare Wayne Keynes as the candidate for constituency number 14, Devonshire Northwest. Wayne is the former CEO of Digicel Bermuda and current CEO of Seniac Consulting, a telecommunications and organizational consulting firm. He has already served Bermuda admirably with a career of public service. He is a former captain of the Bermuda Regiment and spent 7 years as a Crown Counsel at the Department of Public Prosecutions. Wayne also served as Chief of Staff to the Office of the Premier and as a PLP Senator and Junior Minister of Tourism, Transport, Environment, and Sports. Wayne has been a keynote speaker at the International Institute of Peace Through Tourism Conference, the African Tourism Conference, and the Council of Europe. In 2012, he was the commencement speaker at his beloved Oakwood University, his alma mater. Wayne is also a graduate of the University of Kent School of Law and the Royal Military Academy at Sandhurst. Wayne is a member of many civic organizations and sits on various boards. With his military discipline and community activism, he will be an ideal candidate to represent the people of Constituency 14. Personally, I have known Wayne all of my life, and one thing that we share is a commitment to ensuring that we can work together to end the scourge of gun violence and fratricide, which is tearing apart the Black community in this country. The emotional scars of the families that have lost loved ones must be matched by a government that is committed to bringing an end to the senseless war and killing. Wayne has committed to ensuring that this will be a priority for him, and I am proud that he has agreed to serve as part of the Progressive Labor Party team that after July 19th will ensure that we put Bermudians first. Ladies and gentlemen, I announce to you our candidate for Constituency 14, Mr. Wayne Keynes.
Thank you, party leader, fellow candidates, family and friends, members of the press corps. Today, I sit before you as the vision of Michael and Shernette Keynes, my loving parents who instilled in me my love of Bermuda and my commitment to service. My loving wife, Maxanis, and my daughter, Maxie, are the wind beneath my wings. I can truly say that my entire life has been preparing for this moment. The quote from Shirley Chisholm rings fresh in my mind. Service is the rent that we pay for living on this earth. Today, I am honored, I am humbled to sit before you as a confirmed candidate for the Progressive Labor Party for constituency number 14, Devonshire Northwest. This is something I do not take lightly, particularly during these challenging times to our island. Devonshire Northwest, well, it holds a special place in my heart. My paternal grandfather, Mr. Arnold William Keynes, he came to Bermuda in the 1920s from St. Kitts, and he made his home on Happy Valley. He and his loving wife raised 7 children in that constituency. I spent my childhood and teenage years in Constituency 14. So I can truly say I am a son who is at home. Yes, Devonshire Northwest, I am at home. I have fond memories of walking to Prospect Primary School with my brothers and up over Friswood's Hill and down through Roberts Avenue and through Happy Valley. Prospect Primary remains a foundation of my life. As a matter of fact, I remember that line from our school song, "Perseverance is our motto, resolve to conquer wrong." My wife also was raised for a significant period of her life in Cedar Park. A number of my friends still live and reside in Cedar Park. And to paraphrase Robert Frost, I have many miles to go, promises to keep, before I can truly sleep. I consider myself a servant leader. I was committed to serve as a prosecutor. I was committed to serve as a captain in the Bermuda Regiment. I was committed to serve as a senator and the chief of staff for the Premier of Bermuda. The majority of my life I have dedicated service to our country and to our community. Whether it was serving at the Hamilton 70 Adventist GED program or as an elder in my local church, or working in our community preparing young men to go back to school with haircuts and young women with cornrows, providing free legal advice for those in need in our community. This has been service and something that I'm honored to do. I believe that I have an opportunity to excel and to help our country go and to give my party my expertise as a business leader, as the former CEO of a major telecommunications company and sitting on several boards both locally and abroad. I have the opportunity to provide significant understanding and insight in the international and local business sphere. It is true that my goal is simple. I want to be an advocate of hope and force the belief that we must have a better Bermuda for all. Additionally, as our party leader said, I plan to work tirelessly to end gun and gang-related violence in our island home. As stated in Vision 2025, the Progressive Labour Party is committed to working every day for Bermuda and Bermudians, ensuring social cohesion and economic security for all. I am offering myself as your public servant, a public service. I want to give the opportunity to all Bermudians. I will devote my energy, my ability to creating the Bermuda that we all want to see. Constituency 14, I am here to serve you.
Your constituency traditionally has been held by quite high-profile political characters, Paula Cox, Dame Lois Sevens. Do you feel it's big shoes to fill, and are you up for the job?
A whole lot of movement.
I stand on the shoulders of giants. Everyone, all of the names that you just called, they are the people that set the foundation for me to be here today. I remember a story of a leader who went out in the field and he was not qualified to run. He didn't feel that he had the strength. And he asked his God to give him the strength to lead. I believe that with the support of my party, with the support of my family and friends, I believe that together we can do it, and there's no mountain that we can't climb together.
No further questions? Mr. Burt, Brian Darby,
Hi, Brian.
Are you concerned about the shortness of which the registration for voting registration has taken place this year?
I'm not concerned about the shortage of voter registrations, Brian, because we have seen, whether that's been here at headquarters, with our teams throughout the island, whether it be the Lines of the Parliamentary Registrar or civic society, which is coming together to ensure people are ready to exercise their democratic right on July 18th. The people of this country have experienced and suffered under 4.5 years of the One Bermuda Alliance government, and on July 18th, they will show up early and they will vote for a change, for a government which will put them first. So the people of this country are ready, and I have no concern that on that day we will be able to deliver an election victory, which on the next day will mean that they will have a government that will put Bermudians first.
Hi, Mr. Richmond. Jasmine Patterson, Bermuda Broadcasting. You mentioned that in your canvassing that water supply were issues. Are these new issues, or are they outstanding, perhaps to do with the recent drought?
Yes, I think it's, as everybody knows now, that Bermuda has had a challenge in terms of the water supplies of the drought. And I think if you consider it, it's not a problem in terms of the ability to provide water. What happened, government actually cut back on its investment in the water system. So therefore we have some challenges. And as the leader keeps on saying, is that give the PLP the opportunity to govern effective July 18, and then you see some differences in terms of how we emphasize the people as opposed to businesses.
And just one question for Mr. Keynes. You were quite high up in the last PLP administration. Are you worried at all that you may be judged on the last performance?
Jasmine, when you look at our vision for 2025, we have a clear plan for the direction of this country. I sit here at the request of the people of Bermuda. The party leader has faith in me, and I believe with our plan, the team that we have assembled, we believe that we have an effective plan to govern Bermuda. I think looking back, we have learned from our mistakes and things in the past, but we believe that the future for the people of Bermuda, are bright, and we're concentrating on our plan to go forward and to take Bermuda forward.
Sarah Lagan from the Gazette, sorry. Again, to Mr. Keynes, you mentioned the gun and gang violence problem in Bermuda. This is something that's plagued the island for the best part of 10 years, under both administrations. So what's the plan so far? You're new to the seat, but what's the plan going forward? Is there anything you're going to do different from the last administration or the one before that to tackle this problem?
The first thing that we have to do is that we have to accept that there are challenges in our country as it relates to gun violence. For us not to take to be clear, we have had the opportunity to look at this from a political perspective. We in our community, we see it from our family members and our sisters and our friends in our community. So this is not something that is an abstract construct or something that is existential. We are at the houses when they are crying. We are at the morgue. We are in the facilities when they're at the church. This is something as a community that we live day to day with. I think when we're putting together a plan, our plan has always been to assess the situation. That has been done. We need to triage the situation. Oftentimes we want to look at the problem as it is. We believe that there are many connecting elements, jobs, opportunities. Yes, we have to look at the history, the psychosis of our people. We also have to hold certain elements of our country and our community accountable. We need the opportunity to sit down and put holistic plans in place. As a prosecutor, I believe in being strong and tough on crime, but I also believe in a holistic approach. In 2000 and 2001, the Alternatives to Incarceration, that was an initiative by the Progressive Labour Party government. It came forward and people thought that the position was soft on crime. Well, if you look at the drug treatment court and the numbers that the drug treatment court has for rehabilitation, for putting people back in society, the numbers for recidivism that have gone down, we see that this holistic approach, number one, identifying the problem, putting mechanisms in place. What does the drug treatment court do? It puts the people from the helping agencies in place. If they indeed breach those things, they're held accountable for it. That is a similar strategy that we will employ in the drug strategies, getting at the genesis, which is simply the root of it in the high school and in the middle school and the primary school, helping our young men to indeed have a bright future from the cradle directly up to maturation.
Gonna get a little noisy.
Can I have them afterwards, please?
So you're done?
Okay.
If I could just add one thing, Sarah, as we close. One of the things of which I've often said in far as what we're talking about when it deals with the issue of gang violence, because as Wayne said, it's real. We are there at the houses. It's not something that we take lightly, because it's a part of our community and it's our friends and it's our family. But what we also have to recognize as a byproduct of this is an economy and a society which in large measure has been set up, not necessarily set up, but the way the structure is, causes black men to slip through the cracks and to fail. And what a government's responsibility to do is to give people the opportunity to make different decisions. And that's what's missing. But that is what the people of Bermuda will get on July 19th, a government that will put Bermudians first. Thank you all for your attendance.